Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. Alhamdulillah. We are going to do three things today. One is to complete our verse 18. Yeah, verse 18 we need to complete. And then we are going to do our revision about the Irab of Isms. And then after that, we continue with the verse 19. Yeah, I'm not going to do Irab of everything tonight. I'm just going to do Irab of Isms, and not all Isms. Isms that we can do Irab with. I'm not going to do Mabni Isms, yeah, because they deserve more time. They cannot be rushed. Okay, so we'll do that first. Now let me see. This is what we did. Okay, Ayah 18. The last part, I requested that you go through your prelim 7, the last one, because we're going to talk a bit more on this, the translation of these two. Because remember, we had two Irabs for Minna. We had two Irabs for Minna. And the verse that we're looking at is this one, just in case you have forgotten. This is the verse. Yeah. قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وَلَيَمَسَّنَّكُمْ مِنَّا عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ. So this minna, this is the minna that we are talking about. So it has two Irabs, two possible Irabs, not much different from each other, yes, but it affects the translation a little bit. It affects the translation a little bit. So here we have minna when it's muta'alliq to the fi'il. Here, la yamassanna, when it's muta'alliq to the fi'il. The second choice is when it is muta'alliq, it says to a hal that is mahzuf. Okay, the hal that is mahzuf. And this hal is that of azabun, the fa'il. Yeah, that means the sahibul hal or the zul hal is the fa'il. Okay, so my question now is, how do we translate to reflect this difference? It's a very subtle difference. If you looked at the prelim 7, we did one exercise where there was two options as well. One where it was muta'alliq to a fi'il, the fi'il, and one when it was muta'alliq to the hal. Okay, this was about someone seeing a man from the hotel, if you remember this example. Okay, so can I ask, can you put in the chat box? Okay, you put in the chat box, type in your answer, what you think one should be and what you think two should be. Yeah? Type your answer in there. Oh, my voice is very sorry. Is my voice still very low? Can you hear me?
Yes, it's normal.
It's normal. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, think about it. What are your answers? I'll make this smaller. You write the translation in the chat. So one is Jawa majrur muta'alliq to the fi'il. Here, yes, yamassanna. We can translate this as, let me give you let me give you the translation that I have, and then you adjust it to suit the two different cases, okay? You just adjust it. Okay, these are the words that I have here, for example. I'll use surely, so that makes it easier. Or you can use the same words. Surely. Azabun alim, we can say a painful punishment. Yeah, a painful punishment. It's giving you the words, yeah. Surely a painful punishment. Minna is from us, yeah. Minna is from us. Us here being Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And la yamassanna, la yamassanna. The la is the one that has the surely there. Yamassanna, we can say, okay, shall befall. Befall. All of you or you all. Okay, shall befall you all. Okay, so these are not necessarily the correct arrangement, but these are the translation of the words. Yeah, so surely is that la there and the shadda because this is takid. Then yamassa, yes, shall befall. And then kum is you all. Minna is from us. So now, what's the difference between this arrangement and this arrangement when it's muta'alliq to the hal? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Sister Aline, you need to do the translation in the chat box. 2 translations.
Which one?
Here you are. This one. Yeah, you can see the screen. So you have it when it's Jawa majrur muta'alliq to the fi'il. Jawa majrur when it's muta'alliq to a hal that is mahzuf. Okay. So the hal that is mahzuf is here, minna. I put it like this because you can do the Irab for this in 2 ways. You can say that the shibhu jumlah here is minna, Jawa majrur, is the hal itself. Okay. Or you can say that the minna is muta'alliq to a hal that is mahzuf. Yeah. But structure-wise, this is how it is. Tarkib-wise, this is how it is. Fi'il maf'ul muta'alliq to fi'il, and then fa'il. And here fi'il maf'ul hal, fa'il. The hal here is the hal of the fa'il. So how would you translate to reflect this? It's a very slight difference. Yeah, it's a very slight difference. In our example the last time when we talked about it, yeah, the example was, if you didn't read your notes, the example was, I saw a man from the hotel. I saw a man from the hotel. So when we said it was from the hotel is our shibhu jumlah. When we connect it to the fi'il, it becomes different when we connect it to the maf'ul. Okay, so the fi'il is I saw, and the maf'ul is a man. Okay, I saw a man. But if you muta'alliq this to saw, then it would be, the meaning changes slightly. It becomes I saw from the hotel.
Okay.
Yeah, from the hotel, a man. Yeah. So the same thing is happening here too. Yeah. But now, how would you translate it to show this difference? But it's more apparent in this example. It's clearer here. But in this example, it's not that clear. Okay, it's not as clear as the one up here. But it's still there. It's a very subtle difference. So that's where I need you to translate just to see whether you understand the difference.
In the chat box, right?
Yes, in the chat box. Oh. Sister Bashira, welcome. We're doing an exercise on muta'alliq. We had 2 options for minna And one said that it is jar wa majrur muta'alliq to the fi'il. The other one is jar wa majrur muta'alliq to a hal that is mahzuf. And the hal of the fa'il, azabun, sorry. So we wanted you to translate to show the difference. And this was an example that we did some time ago. I saw a man from the hotel. I saw from the hotel a man. Yeah, the muta'alliq. Here is your shibu jumlah from the hotel. But one is muta'alliq to the maf'ul. The other one is muta'alliq to the fi'il. So same case here, but the sentence is different. Surely a painful punishment from us shall befall you all. That's one. Then what's the other? Don't be shy. Indeed, the painful punishment from us.
Is it like that?
It looks like the same sentence, Sister Ralim. there's a slight difference. Look at it here. Look at this example and see whether you can do the same thing. Yeah, with this sentence.
Okay, surely a painful punishment from us shall befall you all. So the
That,
fi'il
that's
here
one.
is
That's
before,
one.
right?
Okay.
The
And
fi'il here before?
so now the second one, what would it be? Where would you put the from us?
From us would be in the beginning. Surely from us.
Remember, this is like similar, right? From the hotel is like from us. Okay. So when it is close to the maf'ul, it is muta'alliq to the maf'ul. When it's close to the fi'il, it's muta'alliq to the fi'il. Hazim, Brother Hazim, what did you put? Surely from our painful punishment befall you all. Where's the from us? You want to say from us or from our?
Surely.
Because from us is what we're looking at. Yeah, from
Painful
us is what we're looking at.
punishment.
Sister Nazma, can you figure things out? She can't hear me, maybe. Oh, she's typing. She's typing. Okay, Sister Rahaina is back. Alhamdulillah. Just rearrange where from us is. Just like we rearrange from hotel here, right? So from hotel here, and then from the hotel here. So it's happening again, but in this sentence. Surely painful punishment will befall you from us. What's the second one? Or is that the alternative from this one, is it? Okay. We need to keep our English, proper English. So surely from us shall befall you a painful punishment. All right. It's simpler than that, actually. It's simpler than that. Any other? Okay, Sister Bashira is doing something good. Alhamdulillah.
Can I see the Irab for second option, sister?
The Irab here. Yeah. It's muta'alliq to a hal that is mahzuf. Okay. Muta'alliq to a mahal that is mahzuf. Or another way of saying it is, if you don't want to say the hal is mahzuf, you just say the shibhu jumla is the hal itself. This is what is happening here. I called the shibhu jumla minna, the hal itself. You try and sign in into your Google Doc, because we're going to do that anyway later, so you can see it from there. You can't see it from the screen. Surely a painful punishment from us shall befall you all. Ah, yes, that's one. This is what I have typed. Surely a painful punishment from us shall befall you all. Then it's connected to the fi'il. Now, what I want to do is the muta'alliq to the fi'il. This one, the one that you've done there is actually muta'alliq to the hal. Why I say that? Because it's muta'alliq to the hal of painful punishment. Yeah. Okay, let's just wait for one more. And then I will explain. Okay. So remember this example? Yeah. I saw a man from the hotel. From the hotel is our Jawa Majrur. Okay. I saw a man from the Jawa Majrur is this one. So when we said it was connected to the man, we put it closer to the man. When we said it was connected to the fi'il of seeing, we put it nearer to seeing. Okay. So in this case, we said, general sentence, surely a painful punishment from us shall befall you all. Okay. And I put from us near the painful punishment. So this one should actually be down here. Here. Where it's muta'alliq to the hal. Okay. How do I put it here? Why do I say that? And the other translation, okay, is surely. Remember, we're talking about the fi'il now. Surely, and what was our minna? Minna has to be closer to the fi'il now, right? So surely a painful punishment shall be fall from us Do you see the difference? It's similar, the arrangement here. Silence. Can you speak, Sister Bashira? Can you say? Can you speak?
Yes, Assalamu
Okay. Yeah. So shall befall you from us. From us here is more concerned with the befalling part. Whereas in this case, The from us here is more concerned with the painful punishment. It's closer to that. Yeah. Surely a painful punishment from us shall befall you all, and surely a painful punishment shall befall you all from us. Okay, it's a very subtle difference. Like I said, it's not obvious here so much, but here it is. You can see it. I saw a man from the hotel. Yeah, meaning that man was from the hotel. But when you say I saw from the hotel a man, you are doing the seeing from the hotel. Not is not is the hotel has nothing to do with the man. Yeah. So in this case, it's similar. Yeah. I hope that is clear. Go back and think about it. Okay, if you're still not clear, then we can discuss it in the next session. But let me know what it is that you don't get about that part. Brother Hazim, is that all right for you for now?
Yeah, I think, but the meaning is quite similar, right?
Yes, it's quite similar. For this case, yes. In this case, it's quite different. Yeah, but in this case, it's quite similar. Yeah. Just to add to that is because in some of the Iraq books, yeah, they said that the word yamassana contains in it the meaning of coming. Okay, coming. I'll show you this. I think it's here, if I'm not mistaken. One of the belum jadwal. Yeah, yeah. Yamasanakum, inside it, tadami meaning inside it has the meaning of yatiyanakum. That means there's this coming of this punishment. Okay, there is this coming of this punishment. And when we look at our, oops, sorry, where did it go? When we look at our, when we look at here, right? Surely a painful punishment coming, a coming painful punishment. I'm not sure. Surely a painful punishment. Where shall I put the coming from? A painful punishment shall befall you. Coming from us, maybe I can put it here. I'm not sure. I mean, in terms of English, sometimes just to give you that feel of that it is coming. I think you can understand, right? When something is coming, because it's a punishment, it has to come. A painful shall befall you all coming from us, yes. And then someone said that the hal shall befall you all coming from us, shall befall you all. A painful punishment coming from us. They said that the hal that is missing is this one, directly from us. Yeah, meaning it's immediate. So this was the hal. This is how they looked at it when you incorporate the meaning of coming into the painful punishment. Yeah. So then I was looking at it and I said, yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. Yeah. Painful coming directly from us shall befall you all, or just surely a painful punishment shall befall you all coming from us. So there is more oomph, as you say, in this version than there is in this version of the translation. Yeah. Okay, so that's what we'll do for this part. We will then go to 19 later, but for now, we're going to do our revision. Yeah. Of the Irab, inshallah. Any problems with the slides? I don't want to lose you halfway with no slides. Yeah. Okay. So Bismillah. Now, this is a summary of what we should know and understand when we do Irab or grammatical analysis of the three words that we know, that we find in the language. Yeah, that's the isim, the fi'il, and the harf. The asma, af'al, huruf. Yeah. So with the isim, that's what we're going to do today. We're going to look at the mu'rab one, not so much the mabni. Yeah, but I would like you to understand, just refresh yourself. Mu'rab, there are two types, lafzi and taqdiri. Yeah, that means your endings can change. But there is a difference. There are some changes that you can see. That's where the lafzi comes in. And there are changes that you cannot see. That's where taqdiri comes in. Yeah? You see, you can't see. Then there are cases, because isms, they have to have status. Remember, isms, the 4 properties of isms, you have to have status, gender, type, and number. Yeah? So when it is mabni, meaning things like your pronouns, your ism isharah, yes, your ism mausus, they come only in one form. They're spelled that way, they don't change, right? But they are isms, and they need to have status. In this case, we call it mahalli. We saw that, right? Fi mahalli nasab, fi mahalli rafa, fi mahalli jar for isms. Okay, so this one we will look at later on. Now we just look at the mu'rab part and understand what is lafzi and what is taqdiri. Okay, so in terms of the signs of Irab, we saw that there's the original signs, and we also have something called far'iyah, which is not the original signs. Yeah, they are an alternative to the original signs. So when we do rafa' nasab jar, we saw that the endings, the end of the word, has dhamma or dhammatain, fathah or fathatain, kasra or kasratain. Yeah, when the time means there is tanween. Yeah, basically that's what I'm saying. As an alternative, you will see that sometimes it's not represented by all this. Yeah, we have other options. Sorry, this is for fi'il because I didn't remove that. This is for fi'ils, not part of isms. Yeah, waw, alif, nun, ya, fatha, kasra. The nun here is more for the fi'ils. Yeah, the nun is more for fi'ils. But waw, alif, ya, fatha, and kasra, that belongs to your isms. Yeah. Okay. Any questions so far? Understood? Okay. This is another summary of all the far'iyah. What are the cases of far'iyah when you don't have the dhammatain, fathatain, and kasratain? Okay, these are the cases. These are for the isms. This is for the fi'ils. For the isms, the 5 special isms. You remember the 5 special isms? Yeah, your father, your brother, the mouth, the in-laws, and of course, zu, za, zi, the possessor of. Yeah, so we have things like abu, abba, abi, yeah? Ahu, aha, ahi. Yeah, so we don't have the normal dhamma or kasra or fatha. Yeah, it's always waw, alif, ya. Then the musanna, of course, the duals, you don't have that. You have instead alif, ya, ya. Muslimani, muslimaini, muslimaini. So the sign is now just alif, ya, ya. Please remember this. Alif, ya, ya, ya. Then we talk about the sound masculine plural. Muslimuna, muslimina, muslimina. The sign again is waw, ya, ya. Not dhamma, not fatha, not kasra. Yeah. So this is what I mean by the signs that have deviated from the original signs. Yeah. Far'iyah. Then of course we have the sound masculine, sound feminine plural. Yes. So this is dhamma, kasra, kasra. Muslimatun, muslimatin, muslimatin. Yeah. So here, the kasrah here is your far'iyah. Yeah? The other ones follow the normal one. Then we have what we call mamnu' min al-sarf. Mamnu' min al-sarf is your partly flexible isms. This is also another kettle of fish. Yeah, a few things that we need to know about, but not for tonight and not under Irab. Yeah, because this is looking at the words itself. Yeah. So in this case, you know things that are غير منصرف, yeah, or things that are not fully flexible, what is it that they can't do? They cannot take kasrah, they cannot take tanween. These are the two things. Yeah? Cannot take kasrah, cannot take tanween. So you do not have Ibrahimun. You have Ibrahimu. And of course, you don't have Ibrahimi. You only have Ibrahima, Ibrahima. Yeah? So this is your partly flexible. Then you go into the fields. I'll just touch on this here, but it's not what we are looking at tonight. This is, of course, the af'ala hamsa. Yansuruna, tansuruna, yeah, tansurina, things like that. Yeah, so nun and hasfunun, yeah, the presence of nun and when you omit the nuns. So this one, when we talk about Irab of fi'ils, we're not talking about status per se. Yeah, we call it status, but actually we're not really talking about status per se. I prefer to use the word mood. Okay, I prefer to use the mood, different moods of the fi'il rather than status of the status of the fi'il. But of course, it's still called Irab. Yeah. Af'al mudari' mu'attal. This one are fi'il mudari's that have weak letters at the end. Yeah, like here. Ya Allah. This one you have ya. Yeah, ya and wow. So this is alif, ya, wow. Sorry, alif, ya, wow. Yeah. Yarda, yamshi, yad'u. So then you have these things called tuqaddar and tuzhar. This one is of course the normal. You can see the changes. This one you cannot see the changes. Yeah, because when you have yarda like this, yeah, when it is mansub, majzum, marfu, can't tell the difference. Yeah, so this is for the fi'ils. Okay. Now let's just concentrate on the isim. Yeah, I have a chart here. Can you see this? It's very tiny.
Yes.
Can I? Good. All right. Now let's look at the first column for the mufrad. Yeah, these are your simple words. Muslimun, musliman, muslimin. So these are the dhamma, dhammatain, fathatain, kasratain. This one simple. Okay. Then when you write it, like I said, we need first to describe what type of word it is. And we're saying it's an isim. Okay. If we know this isim, if it's marfu, it could be a mubtada, it could be a habar. Yeah. It could be, what else can it be? It could be a habar kana. Yeah. Or is it isim kana? Which one is marfu? Anybody remember? Isim or habar kana is marfu? Hmm? Sister Raleigh, do you remember?
Not so much.
Mm. The isim kana is marfu. Yeah, the isim kana is marfu. And the habar kana is mansub. Yeah. So, but anyway, we're looking at, I'm just putting here isim. So it can be any isim. It can be, like I said, the isim kana, or it can be mubtada, it can be habar, it can be fa'il. Yeah. But we just call it isim for now. And once we've said what type of word it is, then we have to tell what status it is in. Yeah, especially when it's an isim. So you say it's marfu. If it's marfu, then what is the sign? And then we say it's dhamma. Now, in the case of this, when it is far'iyah, when it departs from the normal sign, yeah, we will say what is the sign. Of course, the sign would be either alif, ya, or waw. Yes. In this case, for musanna is alif. We need to tell why we put it, why it's now alif and no longer the original dhamma. Yeah, this is the standard way you would write Irab. So you say, why? Because it is musanna. You say that, yeah, because it is musanna. This, all the rest of this is just to explain what the noon is, yeah. So this noon actually, some grammarians say this noon represents the tanween that we dropped. Yeah? Should be Muslim moon, right? But this noon now represents that n sound in the tanween, yeah. Or we can also write it this way. This is the way that I prefer, the one in blue, yeah. But we hardly use it. I think we don't practice this. We say niabatan an. Niabatan an in place of, yeah. The vice president is in place of the president. If something happens to the president, same thing like this, niabatan an. So alif is in place of the dhamma. Why? Because it is dual, yeah. So here for mansub, instead of fathah, it's now ya. You say muslimaini, yeah. So we'll then explain why, because it is musanna, yeah. The sign is niabatan and fathah. It replaced the fathah. And in terms of jar, yeah, isim majrur wal almatu jarihi al kasrah. This was the original one. It's still ya now, yeah, and it is because of its dual. And we say here it's niabatan and al kasrah in place of kasrah. Okay, so this is basically what niabatan means. And why we say that? Because the original sign is no longer dhamma, but it is alif, no longer fatha, but it is ya, and no longer kasra, it is ya. Okay, so that is the musanna column. Then we have the plural column, the group, more than 2 people. Same thing here. Instead of alif, the jama' now is the waw, the famous waw. Yeah? Not to be confused with the waw that is the fa'il in your fi'il for a group of people. Yeah, don't confuse that waw with this one. This one is to show that there is a group of people, but not in an action. Yeah, not in an action. This is more like a plural. Okay, so here again we say it's niabatan an in place of the dhamma. This waw is in place of the dhamma. Why? Because it is sound masculine plural. Yeah. Here it's ya in place of your in place of the fatha. Yeah. And this is ya in place of the kasra here. Okay, so that's quite simple, I think. Now, when you go to the Muslimah chart, the feminine chart, it is actually basically the same. It's just that sometimes we just need to explain the ta. What's the ta there for? And of course, for plural, it's slightly different. Just now, the plural was wow, ya, ya. But for here, it is dhamma, kasra, kasra. Yeah, dhamma, kasra, kasra. So this is still the same, but this is different. This is still the same, only this is different. Yeah. So you remember when we saw the table that I showed earlier on? Yeah, we had a table earlier on when I said these were the signs. Fatha, kasra. This is where the fatha and kasra comes in. Yeah. Where are we? Yeah. So this is kasra instead of the fatha, and we saw earlier in the mamnu min as-sarf, yeah, where it was supposed to be kasra, it was also fatha, Ibrahima. Yeah. Okay. So that's simple enough. Yeah. But now we need to focus on isms that are special. Yeah. That are special, like what we saw just now in the fi'il when we had what was the fi'il that ended with alif, ya, and waw. Yep. So we have this case as well in isms. Yeah, we need to be aware of that. Yeah, this is what we saw for the fi'il mudari, the mu'tals. but we also have it for the isms. Now this one we need to concentrate a bit. Okay, so when does the Irab of an isim becomes taqdiri, muqaddara? Yeah, because you cannot see the changes. Not all the time, but mostly you cannot see the changes. So the first case is when the last letter is unable to carry the sign of the Irab. Okay, what does this mean? Now let's look at two cases. Yeah, let's look at two cases. All isms whose ending is alif and the letter before that alif has a fatha. It should be fatha. Okay. And all isms that ends with ya, and this ya has to be light, not ya shadda. Yeah. And the letter before it has kasra. Okay. So let's look at samples, examples here. This is what we call isim maqsur, qaf sad ra, qaf sad ra. Okay. Qaf sad ra means we have something we call the short alif. Qasara, to shorten your salat or your prayer. Yeah. Just think of it that way. So this is your short alif, not the standing alif, the one that's lying down that looks like a ya with no a dot. Yeah. So ja'a fatan. Ja'a fatan. The young man came. Yeah. So this is obviously fa'il. And we said fa'il is supposed to be marfu. What happened to the dhamma? Yeah. Can't write the dhamma. We can't write the dhamma. It's impossible to write the dhamma. Why? Because we end with an alif. Yeah, this word is fatan. Same thing here. Ra'aitu fatan. Doesn't seem to want to change. So this should, but this one, we still say that it is muqaddar even though we see the sign of mansub. Okay, because this one has nothing to do with the status, it's how you spell the word. Okay, this is how you spell the word. That's why we say it's still muqaddara. Here, marartu bifatan, again, even though there's a b half of jar here, we still cannot add any kasrah to it because of how the word is spelled. No, it's just like that, fatan. Because the alif killed everything else. Okay, just overrode everything else. So it's still bidama muqaddara. It is mansub bifata muqaddarah again, and it is jar apa tu? It is jarihi kasrah muqaddarah again. Yeah. So there is absolutely no change. Two ways of writing this. We can say wa alamatu jarihi al kasrah al muqaddarah, or we can just say here majrur bikasrah muqaddarah. Yeah, the two ways of writing that. Okay. Yeah. Now we go to this other case where we say it's isim manqus. Yeah, isim manqus. Now I wrote this differently because I put alif lam in front of it. If I did not put the alif lam, how would this look like? If it's not the judge came, if it's a judge came, how would this word look like? The ones who are familiar with nakis words, you should be able to tell me. When it is a nakis word, it ends with a vowel and it is rafa. If it is normal, meaning it is not, light.
You mean
Ja'a qadin.
Yes, ja'a qadin. Yep, correct. Ja'a qadin. But because we have alif lam, it is qadi. Yeah, ja'a qadi. So what's happening here? Fa'il, marfu, bidamma is muqaddara. It's there, but we can't see it. Why? Because it's difficult to put it. This is impossible because of the alif. Nothing can change alif. Yeah. Here the ya has made way a bit. Yeah, because ya is still flexible, but still it's heavy. Yeah, so it's qadi. And that's why for the mansub, you have it. Yeah, because it's not impossible, like in the case of the alif. Ra'aytu al-qadiyah. We have this maf'ul bihi mansub bil fatha zahira. You can see it. Yeah, in this case, I'm afraid you can't see the dhamma because of the ending, because of that ya. Same case, of course, for this. And like I said, just like in that case, although we can see the fatha, that's not the fatha that we are, neither is this the kasra that we are normally used to when we talk about majrur. Not the fatha that we talk about when we talk about mansub. Yeah, that's why it's still muqaddara. The actual fatha is behind it. Yeah, the actual ya is behind this. Yeah, so that's why we have these special cases here. Yeah, so this is for mankus and maksur. We call it isim mankur, maksur. Maksur, words that end with alif and the word before it has, the letter before it has fatha. Words that end with ya, and this ya has to be light, not a shadda. Yeah, and the word before it has kasra. This is the condition for it to be called isim mankus and isim maksur. Okay, so all of this has muqaddara in it, except in like in this case. Yeah. Then the other one, a letter is present which requires a certain harakah that suits it. No letter I'm talking about is ya al-mutaqallim. Ya mutaqallim. Mutaqallim is the one who speaks. So it's minds. Yeah, mine. Basically, that's what it's all about. It's about me. Now, we probably can't start on our ayat 19, I think, because there's still a bit more to do. So never mind. I think it's quite good for us to revise this. So what do you do when you attach a ya mutakalim to a normal isim? When we say sahih here, that means there are no weak letters at the end. Yeah. So sadiqi. Sadiqi, the original letter is sadiqun, sadiqan, sadiqin. Yeah. But we want to say my friend came. Yeah, my friend came. So then when you add the mutakalim, this is what happens. Ja'a sadiqi. It becomes, yeah, because the kun can't, the dhammatain can't be there because of the ya. The ya demands that kun to be pulled down in this case. Yeah, jar is to pull down. Yeah, so sorry if that's very very small. Yeah, but here we're just saying again, it's dhamma, it's marfu with dhamma, but the dhamma cannot be seen, so we say it's muqaddara. Yeah, it's predetermined. Because why? Because of the ya that came before it, and that ya prevents it from being showing itself, the dhamma showing itself. Yeah, because the place of where it's supposed to be is now occupied by the harakah that the ya wants, because ya wants an e. In this case, the ya wants an e. Yeah, you say all that. That's in Arabic, what I have just said. And the ya itself, the Irab, you have to explain what the ya is. The ya is dhamir muttasil mabni ala al-fath fi mahali jar mudaf ilayh. Yeah, because this is an idafa. My friend, friend of mine, word after of. Yeah, so that's it. So that's that. And then here again in the nasab case, same thing. It's fatha muqaddara. You cannot see it. And marartu bisadiqi here also, it's kasrah, remember? This is not the same kasrah as the kasrah for jar. So it's still muqaddara. Yeah, it's still muqaddara. So that's for a solid mufrad. Yeah, a true single word with no weak ending. Then let's have a look at when we stick it to a musanna, a dual isim. Now what happens? Oh boy, this one takes a bit of thinking. Ja'a sadiqaya. Yeah, so both of my friends came. It would have been sadiqani. Yeah. So, but because of the ya and the alif musanna, we can't pull it down anymore because the musanna is also on par with the ya. Okay, the strength is there. So it says, I have to be here. If not, you won't know it's a dual. Okay, so that's why we have sadiqaya. Ja'a sadiqaya. So here we say the alif, same thing, niyabatan al-dhamma li'annahu musanna. Yeah, just like what we did for the normal dual isim that we saw in the previous chart. Yeah. Then we of course see what the ya is. Yes. Muttasim mabni ala fat fi mahali jam mudaf ilai, because that's what it is, word after off. Here now, special, ra'atu sadiqayya. Ooh, because it is sadiq, what is it? Ani, aini, right? Ani, aini. Yeah, that's right. So that's why that ya that represents your musanna is now has made friends with the ya that is your mutakalim, and they have merged. Yes, there's idgham here. Yeah, mudghamah fi ya mutakalim. Yeah, so there is idgham here. But the way you say it is the same as you would do with the normal dual. Yeah, mansub bil ya niyabatan an al fathah. Here, same thing. Yeah, but this time it is niabatan al-kasrah because this is supposed to be majrur. Yeah, so sadiqayya. Yeah, sadiqayya. Okay, this is for musanna. This is for mufrad. Now what's next? Of course, sound masculine plural. What happens now? Now, muhandisiya. What's the original word? My engineers came. So it's actually muhandi suna. Muhandi suna. Yeah? But because the ya is there, two things has happened. Okay? Two things have happened. Your wow in the una has become ya. So that's what this means. In qalabat, you turn it, it becomes a ya. Okay? The wow becomes a ya. And then, of course, you have two yas now. Remember? Ya mutakalim and the wow that was a ya. The ya that was a wow. Yeah? So that becomes idgham. It merges. And you have this shadda. Alright? So you got muhandi siya. Muhandi siya. Okay, there is a nabba there when you pronounce the word. Here too, same thing. Yes, niabatan an dhamma. This is niabatan fathah, just like we did in the original table. And of course, again here, the ya now. This ya represents the fathah of the nasab version. This ya here represents the kasrah of the original version. Yeah, so be muhandisi. Yeah, same thing. Yeah. All right. So now you see things can get complicated in a way with isms, but just keep your cool, think it out, and you'll be fine. Yeah, just keep your cool and think it out, and you'll be fine. I think my numbering is wrong. That should be 2. And then here we are. Now, just now we saw isim maqsur by itself with no ya mutaqallim. Yeah, but now we are going to look at maqsur with ya mutaqallim. Now what happens? Remember our qadi? But I've changed it to the young man now. No. This is there was a young man as well, right? I think ja'a fatan. That's what I did for the maqsur. But when you say this is my young man, yeah, maybe your son, haza fataya, yeah, this is what happens. Because of that alif. And remember, it's a strong alif. So the ya mutakalim doesn't bring it down, doesn't make it e. Yeah. So it has to compromise and becomes fataya. Yeah. So this is Dhamma Muqaddara on Alif. Yeah. And why? Because it has been prevented from showing itself. Yeah. Ta'azur. It was impossible for it to show itself. And of course, you still do your mudaf ilai, the irab of the ya mutakalim. Same here. Same here. This is what we saw with the maksur. No? Fatan, fatan, fatan. Now it is fataya, fataya, fataya. Regardless of whether it is rafa, nasab or jar. What about the mankus? Yeah, what about the mankus when you attach a mutaqalim to it? So here we have qadiya. Now this was the original, as Pradazim said, it would have been qadin. If I did not put the alif lam, yeah, it would have been qadin. So you know, why do you think it's like this? How did we get qadin? The fatatain for the marfu version of a nakis word. Can anyone explain that to me? Sister Nazma, would you like to try? Or no? Can you hear me, dear? Sister Nazma? Or she left? Oh, she's typing. Okay, good. Alhamdulillah. So that means هذا قاضية. هذا قاضية. This was originally called din. Din. Yeah. Why did it become qadin?
Because the ending letter was
Yeah.
maksura, so that the Rafa version would be coding.
When you say maksura, do you mean
The what we say that alif maksura, right?
this is not alif maksura. Alif maksura is here, this side.
Oh,
This one is mankus. This is a nakis word.
okay.
Remember, for a nakis word, rafa and jar is the same. So it will be qadin, qadin. Yeah.
So what I remember from Ustad
Uh-huh.
who taught is it's from family Hada, Yahdi.
Yeah. And it becomes hadin. Yeah.
So
Okay. All right. We will come back to this later. Yeah. I hope, inshallah. And I just want to show you the rest first. In the mankus that we saw earlier, come, let me see, where is it? Without the ya mutakalim. Yeah, without the ya mutakalim. Remember this, yeah? With the ya mutakalim, it looks just like a maksur. It's like, it's the same. Qadiya, qadiya, qadiya. Yeah, just like fataya, fataya, fataya. Yeah. But with the mankus, when there is no ya mutakalim, yeah, we saw some changes. Where did we see the change? We saw the change in the nasab version, the mankus, the nakis. We saw this, qadiya. It allowed that. Yeah, it allowed that. I am on the slide, so I can't show you what's happening. But inshallah, because it's already 10:10, I will explain this to you next week. Yeah. But I want you to remember that when we have this, when we have mutakalim stuck to a mankus, it behaves almost like a maksur. Yeah, so it's always muqaddara. Here, we have allowed it to be mansub bil fathah, yeah, because this is actually the original fathah that we see. not the fatha that is forced to be there because of the ya. Yeah. So this one, like I said, we need to do a little bit more explanation why it has become this. I have one more slide. I'll do that slide. Then inshallah we will explain this further. Just want to finish this part. Now this is quite a long part. This is why I also asked you to look at prelim number 7. Yeah, because it touches that. We need to understand what half jar zaid is and half jar shabihu bihi. Right? I think shabihu bihi. So a particle or half is present which changes the ending but not the grammatical function. So this is when you also use another type of, you also use the muqaddara irab. Okay, the muqaddara irab, the predetermined irab or the estimated irab. Yeah. Why do I say this? Look, bil mujtahidu, it doesn't change it in any way. You know, it is still khabar laisa. It should have been mansub. Yeah, it should have been mansub. And it stays mansub because this particular huruf, like be like this, in this case, half jazaid, yeah, is not there to change, how do you say, the status of the word. It's just there for emphasis. Remember this? This is what we learned in prelim 7. It's just there for emphasis. So a better way to understand this is the one, like I said, you have it muqaddara because the fatha is muqaddara because you see a kasra here. Yeah, it changed it because there is this half of jar thing and insists on it being kasra. Yeah, bil mujtahidi. But in terms of Irab, it's still a haba laisa, and a haba laisa is mansub. You see this type of Irab being written this way as well. Okay, it is majroor, they said, in terms of lafzan, what you see, yeah, but mansub in terms of mahalan, in terms of its function, which is haba laisa. Okay, this is one. The other case is this one. Shabih bihi, I think this is what it means. If it is wrong, I'll put the harakah in. To remember all the harakas, quite a challenge. Rubba, remember this? Like word hala. Yeah, these are words that we call shabihu bihi hafjar. Yeah. So this sort of words change this to kasra because it is half of jar. Yeah. So what it means is that I read a lot. Ruba here can mean a lot or it can mean little. That depends on the context. But in this case, he's trying to say that I read a lot of books. Yeah. Or I read this book a lot of times or something like that. So in this case, it changes the kitab. Yeah. But what it's saying is this book is being read by me a lot. Yeah? This kitabun, if you don't have the ruba, it will be kitabun qara'tuhu. How do you translate that sentence? Kitabun qara'tuhu. Qara'tu is ana, right? I read it. Yeah. How would I translate that? Kitabun qara'tuhu. But now what it means is I read this book a lot. Yeah, basically. The book I read. Okay. It's jumlah ismiyah. Okay. With the haba qara'tuhu. Okay. Rabba kitabin qara'tuhu. I'll put in the translation there when I get inspired. Okay. And this case is the same thing. It's supposed to be marfu. Yeah, it's supposed to be marfu because this is mubtada. Hold on. But we see, we see that it is majrur bil kasra, but it is marfu in terms of its function, in its place, yeah, as al mubtada. So this is the other case, the three cases that we have seen. Yeah, the one, the maqsur and mansur, maqsur and manqus, the first case. Yeah, where that particular letter demands a certain harakah. And then the second case, what was the second case? What was the second case before we leave? This was the second case. Yeah, the ya mutakalim. And then, of course, this third case. This case where you have a huruf or a half that changes the look of that word. It makes it with kasrah. But in terms of grammatical function, it still stays the same. Yeah. So, okay, we'll end tonight. And please remind me to explain the mankus with the ya mutakalim during the next lesson. Yeah, inshallah. So, subhanallah wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant nastaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sorry I overshot the time, but it was quite a long topic. Yes? Okay. All right then. Good night for tonight. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Waalaikumsalam. Jazakallah khairan.
Barakallahu fikum.
Waalaikumsalam.